Hello, everybody. So you're probably already very familiar with Loren's story, having a stroke a few weeks ago. So I'm here to help with just keeping us on track, contributing to the conversation, and we would love it. We're glad you're all kind of close in. We'd love it if you guys would ask us questions as we go, and we can talk and make this just really comfortable and casual, so that it's a nice open conversation.
We
No, no.
we
Can use this one.
hello. Switch them out. Ooh.
Hello.
All right. Yeah. Hey, we're gonna have fun in this last presentation because it's the end of the day, and you guys would like after lunch and like. So the questions, if you ask questions, I got the stroke has got me all screwed up with the speech, but if you ask questions and you sit closer to the stage, I'll give you prizes. And we have some beef jerky and some beef sticks and some hats, but you never are gonna get them in the back. So yeah.
Don't be shy.
Okay, so you wanna do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I'll get us started. So today we're talking about multi-species grazing. So we have sheep, cattle, and pigs on our ranch. And a part of this conversation, we'd enjoy hearing about all of your trials and tribulations on your ranches, how you relate to us, how it's different. We're from California, so very different weather from here and different climate and everything. But I'm sure we'll have some things in common. So we'd love to hear from you, and we'll probably have a good amount of overlapping themes too. And to kick us off, very California, Loren wanted to include this photo. This is him doing some yoga out at the ranch. Not a bad setting.
You don't think that a stroke victim that like no, I'm not going to do that on the stage right now.
Oh, thanks.
Ooh.
Okay. Survivor. There we go.
Yeah, stroke survivor. Boom. Sometimes I am normal, and sometimes I'm like blah 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 blah. So I'm gonna be normal. I'm gonna be normal. I mean, not normal anyway, but like I'm gonna be normal.
Okay, you can jump into this. Oh, not quite. What if I'm standing here? Put your hand up and let it blink. And now move. Okay, there we go. Okay.
We have gone over the soil health principles forever, and you guys know this, but it's one of the things that we start with when doing multi-species grazing, and we try and know the context. You know, we're 5 degrees outside. What can we do in this environment to protect the soil, right? And so we're probably like 40 degrees in Tamales, and like today it's probably like a 40-degree low and like a 60-degree high. And so what we want to know about the context of what we do to manage in that area. So you could read all these things, but integrating livestock and economics, it's not a soil health principle, but economics is vital. And I like to share that, like, if you're not economically viable, soil health doesn't really matter, like, because it will be fallow. So like you can make some mistakes with soil health, and nature is actually very forgiving, and you can actually um, um,
It's resilient. It will come
it's
back.
resilient.
Yeah.
It's resilient. You can actually like fix it. And so in my area, it's nature's resilient and nothing is absolute. So I use the bell-shaped curve, and everything in life, really, everything's a bell-shaped curve. You know, you have it one extreme or the other extreme. And when we talk about soil health principles, we talk about worms and we talk about roots being very, very, very important. But there is, and some people say that there's absolutely no space for a plow or a disc. I actually think that like a plow or a disc, when used, very infrequently, to create more life and to create more carbon and to create less compaction and all that thing. So like I'm not a promoter of that, but it's if you have like soil that's this deep, that's compacted like crazy, like you got to jumpstart it, right? And so your context about that. We don't plow ever, but we rip sow sometimes and we do other things. And you're going to notice with the pigs, we actually create disturbance, and it's kind of not, it's kind of simple to create disturbance with pigs. And so go ahead.
So we wanted to just show a few more detailed pictures of examples of, these are pictures that Loren took on our property, and talking about the adding life to the soil, fungi, bacteria, organic matter is super important. It's not super easy and simple to do this, which he reiterated to me this morning. And seeing things like the fungi and worms like these are really great signs. So like when I give a ranch tour and Loren's like, oh, take a shovel, go up here and tell me how it's looking if you see any worms. And so I'll go check things out. And we had a tour a couple weeks ago, actually the day before you had a stroke at our tour, we saw a great amount of worms. And we want to see that because that means there's really great moisture in the soil. That means our soil water holding capacity is really good too. It's a good sign to us. And those worms are going to eat up dead plant debris, and they're going to also poop in the soil, and they're going to aerate the soil. So it's these positive things that are these indicators to us that things are going well. And we can use those indicators to then make management decisions.
Perfect, Maddie. Thank you
You're
for
welcome.
that. Yeah. The only other thing is that I've had lots of consultants come to the ranch and then the Soil Health Academy and all different people and say, oh, you need more fungi in your soil. And like, it's not easy to, like, I've been focusing on this for like 15 years, and it's not easy to just create actinomyces like a bug in a jug, like all of these kind of things. And especially if you have a drought 6 months of the year. So like we're doing it and we're slowly ramping up, but it's a little bit frustrating for people that like a lot of progress. I'm like not patient. I want to fix it, so it's a dance with Mother Nature.
Mm-hmm.
I briefly touched on this in my past presentation, but Bud Williams' 3 banks, I really, really admire that man and that philosophy. But you can never have too much grass. You can never have too much money, green money in the bank, but you can have too many cattle, and that will bankrupt your other banks, right? And it's the same with other livestock. Like we need to dance with Mother Nature in order to create, a lot of money and a lot of grass, and then we can have as many cattle as we want to right now. So that's good. Oh,
Yep, go for it.
Can I just
go?
So multi-species grazing is one of the fun things for me, especially with sheep and cattle, because you will produce about another 20%, give or take, of weight for that acre of land. And it's 20% of the profit, really. Like, it's a marginal gain because you can just throw the sheep out there. You guys manage sheep right now? Anybody manage sheep? Okay, give that girl a hat. Yeah. So I that one right there, Maddie. Yeah. That's an amazing that you manage sheep, because I really don't like sheep. And Lisa and I talked about the beginning of Stemple Creek Ranch, and she said we had to have sheep or lamb, and she was right. There's actually one of the most profitable things enterprises on our ranch, and I need to do, as the pricing changes, I need to implement the profitability or calculate the profitability. But everything we do is profitable usually, or we don't do it. The cattle tend to go for the taller grasses, and the sheep tend to do well on the shorter grasses and forbs. Okay.
So with that, with the cattle grazing the higher, the sheep grazing the shorter, you're going to get better pasture utilization, which helps with what Loren was referring to with better weight gain on those acres.
And then this picture is that we don't want it that short. And it's like a January date in the very, very big drought. So like an example of, we're not perfect. We don't know what we know. Like, I'm not here to say I'm a master expert. We just dance. Like, we just dance, and we dance a sweet melody once in a while, and you'll see pictures. We dance a cluster, step on each other's toes other times, and we repair that. Yes, ma'am. We dance, but like we don't do that all the time. We've done both, but we have guardian dogs, which we'll go see, and we have coyotes. I had some really graphic pictures of coyotes mauling sheep and stuff, but I bailed on that. Just to my attorney's advice, I bailed on that. Yeah. So I'm gonna get to that, but most of the time we don't graze the sheep and cattle together, because we have the main ranch that we have sheep on, and the main ranch we have cattle on is mostly a finishing ranch. We moved all the mama cows off of there and to the mountains. That's less quality forage, right? So the guardian dogs chase the finishers, and the finishers are our bread and butter. So like, we push the finishers through an area, and then we push the sheep through the area. And there's only six pastures that we, I have my hand, that we raise sheep, unless we net fence because there's only 6 pastures that we have tight fence for the guardian dogs. So it's like perfect. It's not perfect, but it's good. It's good. Okay, so what did I miss, Maddie?
I think you covered it for that part. We'll kind of get into more details about each of the species as we go. These are kind of our initial overview pieces. So then our last is the pigs and how we use them.
Oh yeah, pigs clear brush, and I'm excited to use the pigs on some really poison oak brush, poison ivy type stuff, coyote brush, and they actually reclaim that area, and they're like blackberries, brambles, all that. They're just happier than a pig in shit when you and they just ruin everything when you combine them an area. But we try and use them as organized disturbance. And some of the pictures I'll show you in the presentation, we
have made mistakes.
Yeah, exactly. Not good. Yeah. Okay.
And normally the pigs are in an enclosed big pasture that's in a eucalyptus grove. So it's kind of like a sacrifice area for them to root around in on a regular basis. And then they can be moved to certain areas that Loren wants to have them in for a short period of time.
Right. Exactly. And then on the eucalyptus trees, I could care less about. It's an introduced species, and it's just, we want them to die, frankly. And we want them to die, but they're very resilient. They're not anywhere near dead, and I've had pigs there for 10 years, something like that. But we do wood chips, like heavy bedded wood chips, like this head heavy from the ground, and feed the pigs on the wood chips, like in the wintertime, to like have a sacrifice area that we can make compost out of, but actually that they could keep dry, and they could not cause erosion. And we actually do the same thing with our finishers. Like when there's a pasture, it's kind of like a sacrifice pasture, but it's up on a hill. But like we feed the finishers on that mound, so that we feed them most of their calories, like 90% of their calories on that mound, and then they go out to the pasture. And that's full disclosure.
You'll see a video.
I think we have a picture of that or a video of that yesterday. You basically know you want to know the nutritional value of your forages, and you can do this with bricks testing, or you can do this with, we've done it enough to know that, like, the cows know they do the highest bricks. They take the highest bricks first, so you can tell what species are really photosynthesizing, and be observant of those species and try and make more. Believe it or not, in some areas, like the cows go to poison oak first, or the cows go to coyote brush first. I don't know if you have coyote brush here, but it's just like a forb that's not really good. But they actually go to that, and it's micronutrients, and it's sweeter, and they're curious, and so that's actually interesting. What I missed?
No, I think you got it. Is everybody, I'm sure you are familiar with what bricks are? Any questions?
Can you just give like a quick definition?
Bricks are like the sugars or the nutrients in the plant. And like the analogy, if anybody drinks wine, so a wine grower uses a refractometer to test the bricks that they want to test. The sugars basically are at the highest level or the appropriate level to make wine for. But the same is with grass. The same as with apricots or lettuce. Like you could test that bricks, and it's the sugars are more nutrient dense. Garlic press. Yeah, garlic press with a penny, and you do that. Yeah, exactly.
We should have brought a video.
Yeah, we should have next time. We talk about diversity. This is a cover crop, Facilia, all like I can't see it with the glasses, but all different kinds of mustard and other deals. And we actually took the finishers through this field. Yeah, that was good. And there was actually like a very good bee pollinating habitat. So Facilia is called super bee in some places, and I love it. It grows fast, and like in an area that we screwed up, we'll show you in a couple slides. We broadcast Facilia, and it makes kind of like a pollinator habitat, and it's beautiful, and I like flowers, and it's fast growing. Okay. So we're cool season grasses. We don't have rain in the summertime, which you guys have rain in the summertime. So like I'm envious that you can grow a ton of forage in a very short amount of time. If we did have rain, we could grow amazing amount of forage, but we do grow amazing amount of forage, but it's cool season. Yep. This is actually a good slide. This is, do you know any grass-fed beef producers in the audience, or grass-fed lamb too? So this is good. What probably get some beef sticks or some hats or whatever, over there, because I like interaction. But there is some principles, and we have this principle. We have the grass grows super lush in February and March, and we actually could get some off flavor beef and some off flavor lamb livery, metallic, fishy. We don't normally do fishy, but like it's a big fat beef, and you don't realize what the problem is. And the blood urea nitrogen is in full bloom, and they need some carbohydrates. So we actually feed some dry hay or oat hay or something else like that to almond hulls or something like that to the cattle or the sheep in order to prevent that. Is that happen here? Yeah. Okay. So that's a common thing, and that actually common thing in the West, and that actually is indicative of high protein and indicative of people not liking grass-fed beef. So we have to not give too much concentrates, like in terms of like not concentrates, it's carbohydrates, and just the right amount. And usually we base the decisions based on the poop. So you guys all read the poop, hopefully. And in this scenario, this time of year, we can go to a pasture and get painted green with protein from the poop because it's just like all over. And we need to slow the rate of passage. And mostly we do that with finishers. We just ignore it with the other cattle, and we do that with finishers. And it's the lambs, sometimes it's the lambs especially, but we don't have lambs for harvest this time of year mostly. Well, the lambs for harvest and be like April through October, something like that.
We contemplated putting together slides of different poop, but we vetoed that. So
Yeah. 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 What else did I see?
I think this one you got it all pretty much.
Okay.
Yep.
Finishing cattle get pretty much everything that they want, and our goal is to have them eat, lay down, get fat. Eat, lay down, get fat. Eat, lay down, and get fat, and that's just the goal. And we also like, especially this time of year, to move the cattle late in the day as the bricks are higher. It's a little trick to move the cattle late in the day, and that way they can we could feed them some because usually it's the luscious pastures that we do it, and we could feed them some dry hay before they go moving. Okay. Go back. The mamas are really, like, we neglect the mamas. Like, they get bigger pastures, and we don't say neglect, but we ignore the mamas. They basically are super fat in the summertime, and we let them dwindle down and pump some energy to the babies, and we don't feed them anything. They have to forage they forage oak leaves and acorns and moss and everything, and it's actually just to keep alive and get the calf going. And then they put a lot of their energy in the calf. I actually have some cool pictures cool videos that I could show, but I didn't find them on my camera. But there's these cattle that in September, they're licking the moss off of the trees, just with the tongue, just the moss off of the tree. And it's like, how do they know? How do they know that? But it is a higher bricks or more nutrients, or like they're doing nature's work to do that. It's cool. I think
Yeah, and related to that of really putting our focus on our finishing animals, especially being that we're a meat business too, and our finishers are our money train, as Loren calls it. And so if we're going to need to put extra feed into those animals, that's where we're going to focus.
Mm-hmm. You want to? Okay, so this mountain used to be a really big sheep mountain. It's called Black Mountain. It's the iconic mountain in Marin County, and they used to run 1,000 sheep in that area. But now coyotes, mountain lions, bobcats, like everything, love sheep, especially our sheep. So we don't do sheep on that mountain anymore, but we are going to do the halter collars and rotationally graze through the mountain because it's like you don't understand how steep it is. It's like very steep. And so we're gonna do the halter collars, and we go there and like every 2 to 3 months. The cows, I mean, unless I'm mushroom hunting or something else like that, or deer hunting, I go there two or three times a year, because the cows manage themselves. And we try and make like we try and gather once or twice a year. And we have the bulls in year round now. They're basically spring and fall calving herd. There's like 150 cows there, and they're just like 4 fields, and it's not the regenerative agriculture that we, like, it's not the intense regenerative agriculture, but we're not overgrazing. We leave lots of forage, and we leave lots of forbs. Make sense? I mean, this is what we want our very fat cows to look like. And she's not, she's like a grade 4, yield grade 4, maybe yield grade 5. And we have data on all the cattle that we harvest for yield grade, ribeye area, like all the metrics, all the metrics of the USDA. We pay a USDA inspector to USDA grade them. Okay. We can't emphasize diversity enough. We need to decrease compaction and increase air in the soil and grow your soil up, instead of, like, I used to be like think that you grow your soil down, but you grow your soil up. The other thing that naivety, yeah, look, naively, I don't know what I can't say like that word. I used to be able to say that word, but yeah. Sheep, don't underestimate the compaction of sheep. Like, sheep are a major compactor. That's why it's called a sheep foot.
The tractor.
Yeah, the tractor. It's called a sheep foot because it's compacting and compacting and compacting. So don't underestimate the value of important life in the soil and rest to offset the sheep's actually foot. This is actually a pretty cool slides. We have a mob of cows. There's probably like 300 or 400 in that group. There's a couple years ago, and we just move the tumble wheels, 4 or 5 times a day, just to get them to eat, lay down, and get fat. Eat, lay down, and get fat. Eat, lay down, and get fat. Okay, but we should be careful to rotationally overgraze. Like, in the beginning, when Steve worked at my ranch, we rotationally overgrazed, and we big groups of cattle, and we would rotate them, but we didn't, like, we rotate them to the next field, and we're that much grass. We had too many cattle in that area, but we can do more damage rotationally overgrazing than just set stocking, and just like, you have to, if you have to be present and think logically and observe. Like, that's the single biggest thing that I can recommend, is observe and think critically. I'm like, what am I really gonna do here, or what am I really doing here? Okay. So I don't know if you can see this this rotationally overgrazed. So if I'm gonna
Careful.
I'm gonna not fall. So this neighbor right here, this is Highway 1 going up and down the coast of California. This is to the right of the road is my ranch. To the left of the road is a dairyman that's rotationally overgrazing. You see how much, I mean, it's absurd. It should be illegal how much erosion is coming off of that hill. And it's just, it's amazing because all of his topsoil goes through a culvert and actually gets deposited on my area. I'm like, okay, but it sucks because it's like erosion. There's a lot of not clean water coming from there. So like you can rotationally overgraze. Okay, next slide. This is our next door neighbor on the other side. So can you tell what side of the fence is ours? Yeah, so you see the riparian area. I mean, I'm not trying to make fun of my neighbors, but it's like observe and what are you seeing? Like bird life, like bird habitat, like there's nothing, and a big gully in that valley that they're putting old concrete and trying to help erosion. I'm like, oh, so it's painful to see, but it's a great example of what we're doing great, so we have a lot of examples like that. Okay, and if you look on Google Earth, you can tell which properties we manage versus our neighbors because you can see riparian areas, and it's pretty amazing. Yes, ma'am.
How come none of your neighbors have tried to do what you do?
They think I'm crazy.
But you can see.
Yeah, I mean they don't. They're bleeding equity, in my opinion, and they don't have to do this for a sole income. And we're like, it's our sole income, so we have to take care of it. And I'm like, I have a lot of pride in not doing that. So, like it's like I have a big blemish on my face if I have a big whitehead on my nose if I would do that, right? So just a pride, and then they don't even realize that they're doing that. And they don't know how. They don't know how, and they don't want to ask. Yeah, go ahead to the next slide. This is far from perfect, right? So we rotationally overgraze sometimes, and this is not repairable. If it's repairable with rest, and it's repairable. I mean, I could say it's repairable with time, but we broadcast seeds and stuff like that to give like chicory, plantain, or Phacelia to get fast growing soil cover right there. And we make mistakes, and we try to remedy the mistakes very soon based on the soil health principles. Make sense? Okay. This is an example. So you see that line where Oscar moved the cows to the next field, but it's the dance. It's like we try and move the cattle to pastures that are not going to be wet like that, but Mother Nature gave us an insult of, and we can't blame her. She's and we're happy for the rain, but we screwed up. So go back one more, Maddie.
Here.
Oh yeah. So this is actually if it's like February or so, you can see the daffodils on the driveway. And we've planted about 40,000 daffodils in memory of my sister and my nanny. And so it's pretty cool. Like when you go down the driveway, and it's just like, whoa, stunning. And I just like that. Pointed out. You guys have maybe seen this. We have a lot of pride in it, but this is one of the best times of year, and we lots of clover and ryegrass and finishing cattle. The density, we were moving these cattle, and the density, we're moving them another area, but the density of the cattle is not super tight. We want the cattle to eat, lay down, and get fat, and eat anything that they want in the salad bar, right? Okay. What time? What?
20 minutes.
Okay, cool. 20
So
minutes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Moving on to sheep.
20 minutes? Okay. Okay, so we this is one of the pastures that we have sheep in. This is obviously lambing season, probably November. Oh yeah. This is our herding dogs. Oscar has 5 herding dogs, but we have 5. Go ahead and play that again if you can. We have 5 guardian dogs, and we have a lot of coyotes. And we have a company policy is shoot first, ask questions later when it comes to coyotes. I don't really like coyotes. I know holistically you should let them go and do their thing, but I don't like coyotes. So, yes. Yeah, that's a good question. There's Anatolian Shepherd, and they're mostly Maremma and Akbash crosses, and they're like short-haired, and they're amazing. But they're they're short-haired, but they're amazing. They're like managing another livestock, like another form of livestock, and it's a pain in the ass to manage them at some times, because they'll look at a threat and they'll go over the fence, and they'll be like 5 miles away from home. And actually, this lady called me. We were one night at a party, and this lady called me, and she goes, "I have your dog," and I said, "Oh, well, what color is it?" And she goes, "It's white." And she goes, "Well, where are you at?" And she goes, "I'm at the hill of Dillon Beach, which it's about 5 miles away, looking at the ocean." I said, "Let it go." And she goes, "Okay." So she let it go, and it was back in the field the next day. So it was like, yeah, I was like, okay, so go back to salt. Go back one more. Yeah, perfect. This is the most amazing thing of these dogs is, like, this is a beautiful little lamb that the mother, we actually she was having trouble birthing, and we actually pulled the lamb, and the mother said peace out and ditched us, and we had to catch the mother and put it in a little area. But Salty is just such an amazing dog. It's just such an amazing dog. He just licked the lamb, and the dogs are I don't know the word, but like they're like mysterious, and noble, they're guardians, and they're just freaking unbelievable. I just amazed at the dogs. But the testament to the dogs is, if I think we lost 43 lambs in 30 nights about 12 years ago, and we've lost maybe 43 lambs in 10 years because of the dogs. Like there is not a predator that comes with the dogs right now. That like they're good at it. Yes, ma'am. We have 500. Yeah. And we buy another 300 from a neighbor, and we can scale sheep we could scale sheep, lamb more. Like I could probably do 5,000 sheep, but I don't want to own 5,000 sheep. I don't really like sheep.
Loren,
Yeah. Okay. I did say that. Yes. Okay. Perfect.
Loren, I have another question. I have a question with this. Are the guardian dogs kind of in conflict with your agritourism at all? Like, do you have to manage things so that they're not participating in your pasture?
Luckily, they're not. They're friendly dogs, and some people say, "Oh, you never can pet them. You never like." I mean, they've never lived in the house. They've never eat treats. They never eat but like they're friendly. They don't have manners. They'll jump on you and like knock kids over and stuff like that. But we don't go where the guardian dogs are with the tours, really. So there's an example of just, fence with sheep. I don't know what those sheep are, like a finishing sheep right there, but yeah, go ahead.
Some more sheep pictures.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
How often are you moving the cows and sheep? Like, not the mamas.
When the grass grows fast, we move them fast. When the grass grows slow, we move them slow. So
You have to worry about parasites with the sheep like every 3 days, or
yeah, no, we actually worm the sheep 2 times a year, and mostly going into the fall and going in like docking time. And we don't really worry about the parasites. I actually have a Darwin theory of sheep. Like, if it's limping or it's skinny, it's gone. And like, I'm the one that one of the things that I have to do is, like, my guys won't cull sheep, and I like cull sheep. Like, I just go dodge, like, yeah. And it says, what, we dodge and say, what was wrong with this one? We don't trim hooves. We don't, there's some long hooves, and the sheep get along very good, and we don't do that. Yeah. Again, whatever. Did we have any?
Maybe we jump into the pigs real quick, and then we
Okay.
can ask some questions.
Okay, go the next picture. The next picture. Okay, so this is an area that we wanted to disturb, and we wanted to create some new soil, and it rained 10 inches in October, so this is not opportune, but we figured it out. Go ahead, the next one. This is actually, you can't pause that, right? Oh, you can't pause that, but she'll keep replaying it. But this is actually my dogs, or Oscar's dogs, working the pigs to go to the scale to see what they weighed. And go ahead, yeah. And then the left you could see the left, there's actually a sacrifice field, that big pile of wood chips that we're feeding the cows on, right? Because it's the super rainy season right now. And then they're have access to all that field, and it's super sandy. Okay, go. This is organized disturbance. This is organized disturbance. This is one of our sows that this just sow. What do you even call? Yeah, that this week I don't like. I'm not a pig man. Go. And this is little baby pigs. Okay. The economic benefits, you already know them, and you could review the slide, but basically, you can have like 1 cow to 8 sheep, and depending on the economics in your area and what you're selling them for, you can actually gain a lot of income from that. Go ahead.
That was the end.
Oh, dance with Mother Nature.
And then you're.
Oh yeah, this is kind of funny. I don't know if you're gonna do the ready for the 2-day challenge. I thought you would get a kick of that, but February 30th and 31st, we're gonna have no meat. Yeah.
I was like, oh, is this meant for this talk? Okay, great.
Okay, good. Okay, so thank you. Questions, whatever questions. Yeah, you could pull out stuff.
Yeah, I had a question regarding moving the cattle late in the day, and you said feeding dry hay ahead of the moves for the high bricks count. Is that something you do consistently, or is that, thank you, based on the stage of forage that's ahead of the mob? Like, do you do it every time, or is it as an as needed approach?
We do that every time, not at the same time of day, but like afternoon, that we want the bricks to be higher in the grass, because it's like there's a significant weight gain, or significant nutritional value as the plant is photosynthesizing. Okay. Oh yeah, we do that ahead of time, and sometimes we'll bring a bale of, like a big bale of like oat hay or something else, so that they fill their belly, and there's because there's so much protein in the grass, and that we need a rumen mat that will slow the digestion. Okay. Yep. Yes. Just finishers. We don't feed anybody else, really. Yeah, the mama cows, like we don't feed them. Yes, ma'am.
Was there ever a time in which you grazed cattle and sheep on the same pasture?
Yes.
And why did you? I know you said they're in different places, but if they were still in the same area, why or why not would you still do that?
Because the dogs chase them. Yeah. And we have a habit of keeping segregated because the dogs chase them. So like if we didn't have coyotes, we would put them in the same pasture. Right?
And would that be better or just different?
It's just different. Yeah, we accomplish the same results, I think. Okay. But I think it would be better, but we're doing it. It's making do with what we're doing. Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any sort of outlet for wool or anything like that?
Oh yeah, that actually is. You can see some of the Perrindale lambs, some black wool sheep. We have a contract with Koyuchi, and they're buy our wool. You guys know Frankenmuth? Frankenmuth is a spinning thing, up in Michigan, and we send all of our wool there. And it's an enterprise, but it's like a $4,000 a year enterprise. Yeah. And I mean, if we go, like, we would love to have spinning yarn and, all of that thing, but like, we've chosen not to do that because based on like it's not profitable right now, but maybe someday we'll do it. Yep. Yes.
I've seen some videos of your spreading compost with seed. I'm just like curious to hear more about how you do that and over how much acreage and seeding rate, stuff like that.
Well, we had so we have some government programs that I don't depend on them, but when they're available, I hold out the buckets and raining money that I'm gonna put some money, and especially to help soil health. So we broadcasted we broadcast compost, and we put seed in it because why not? And we're driving over the tract the area already, and it's not some results are amazing and some results are mixed depending on the fertility and the species in the area, right? So we almost do chicory, brassica, plantain, and some orchard grass and some annual ryegrass. Annual ryegrass is prolific in our area and that establishes well. But then I want all the other things. No, we don't make hay, but in one of our last do you have that? Well, you don't. We deleted the slide for that, but
Yeah,
we windrow hay, volunteer hay. We windrow and then we graze it in the fall because we're a seasonal drought. So like if you did that here, you would turn to mush, most likely, potentially. I don't know your context, but if it gets rained on, it's opportune time to like June. We windrow hay and like chop thistles, like windrow, like because I can't stand thistles. It's not economic. It's not economic integrity, but I don't like thistles. Like I don't like thistles, and like I don't like coyotes, and it makes me a bad manager if I have thistles. So I want to clean everything up and store it for the fall, and they eat it good.
Well, what kind of program or like record keeping system do you use to keep track of the animals that move through your pastures and rotations for multi-species?
I'm not very good at that. Yeah. So Maddie, so we have a certified organic program and a not certified organic program. Based on the ear tags, everything that's a blue ear tag or an ear notch is not organic. That's like other buy cattle, bought cattle, or cattle that got a antibiotic or something, got non-certified hay. They'll get that. The other thing that we have a year, like, so every calf is born, get the year and the number of the calf. So like if it has like right now it's gonna be 2601, 2602, 2603, 26, all that, and it's the ear tag. We have a big the guys that are grazing charts are gonna hate me.
Troy is
hate me
gonna-
because I don't like a grazing chart. Like it doesn't speak to me. Like it doesn't speak to me. Like it doesn't speak to me.
It's okay.
So-
He's not here.
So what I do, Oscar takes a picture of the grass, and he there's a big map, and he says 484 Gordos in this field for 12 hours. And then that's what we do. There's a lot of other things like pasture map and other things that could be very beneficial. And probably that's the next stage of our operation, but like we kind of wing it, and like we don't have to foreshadow an event, a rain event coming. Like we have a critical rain date. If it's not rained by this amount time, like we're decreasing cattle. We understock so that we don't replicate 2014, which we were the Bud Williams bank account. We were out of money and out of forage and only had our cattle, and we were going to be selling cattle. So like we base that on everything. Make sense?
Turn your location services on your phone too. If you don't, he doesn't, but it helps with tracking your photos and timing and stuff. I use it a lot for when we do different types of applications for grants or doing like the verification for grants that we've done. And there's also really good apps. Like there's an app that we use that does the geotagging like directly on the photo. You can get a free version. I can look it up for you. I don't remember the name. But those are really helpful, especially if you do grant applications, because they need that type of information. Otherwise, they are like, we don't know where this was and when it was taken. That's a really helpful thing.
All right, we could take one more question. Thank you.
I saw on a slide that it's 1,000 acres, and I was wondering what percentage of those 1,000 acres get grazed every year, or does a lot of it get left fallow, or how does that?
Everything gets grazed every year, like no fallow, but it might get grazed with sheep once every 2 years, or it might get grazed with mama cows every year. But most everything gets grazed every year, except for our riparian areas. And I like to keep them wild, but they need grazing for diversity and the other things, and to get trimmed back. Like if they don't get trimmed back, they're falling over our fences, and yeah. And then sometimes it's just like a bank account. Like if we get a drought in November or December, it hasn't rained yet. Like I'm grazing the areas that the willow trees are as a last resort before I sell cattle.
Thank you, Loren and
All
Maddie.
right.
I think we're done.